One of the really cool features of 23andMe results is when you can combine your ancestry and trait information. And you can do this when you have family members that have results too, so you can see exactly which alleles you share with which family members. Let's take Joanna Mountain's family as an example. Here's her family tree or pedigree. This is Joanna. This is her husband Hayward, her children Miles and Seamus, and their grandparents David, Susan, Anthony, and Tasha. One big question that Joanna and her husband had about one of her children, Seamus, is that he has blue eyes while both of his parents, Joanna and Hayward, have brown eyes. Of course, Joanna knew that eye color was determined genetically, which meant that she knew that Seamus's blue eyes must have been passed down from her and her husband and ultimately from their individual parents, Seamus's grandparents. So Joanna set out and coded their family tree or pedigree here with the eye colors of her children, her and her husband, and their parents. Now, unfortunately, the maternal and paternal grandfathers were deceased, but the paternal and maternal grandmothers were still alive, and we know that they both had brown eyes. And the question was, were either of them contributing to the blue eyes that we see in Seamus? So a simple saliva sample from each and every one of these 6 individuals that we know something about here was collected. Now, one of the alleles important in determining eye color is a gene called HERC2, which we'll learn more about in Lesson 9. Now, without explaining the whole story, one allele of HERC2 is recessive and promotes blue eye color, and another allele is dominant and promotes brown eye color. So for Seamus to have blue eyes, that must mean that he inherited 2 recessive copies of the HERC2 gene from each of his parents. This means that Seamus is homozygous recessive, and each of his parents, Joanna and Hayward, are heterozygous dominant for brown. And the question is, where did these recessive alleles come from? Which of Seamus's grandparents, in this case his paternal or maternal grandmothers, did they contribute a recessive allele to his eye color? So after submitting a saliva sample for everyone in the group, the 23andMe website allowed the family to compare the chromosomes side by side. In this case, we're comparing Seamus's chromosomes with his paternal grandmother, and here we're comparing his chromosomes to his maternal grandmother. Everywhere you see a shaded blue region indicates shared ancestry, meaning that some of his chromosomes have inherited a piece from that individual grandparent. Anywhere you don't see shading means that they don't share that piece of the chromosome. And the red arrow indicates the location of the HERC2 gene on chromosome 15. So looking at the comparison of Seamus's chromosomes to his paternal and maternal grandmothers, which grandparent did he inherit one HERC2 allele from and why? Go ahead and select which grandmother you think, and then tell me why in the text box here.